And welcome along to Chicago to give it its official name, the Endeavour Health Performance Centre, but it is the training ground for the MLS side Chicago Fire, where Liverpool have been based since the start of last week. We're live right now on All Red Video, on LFC TV, on YouTube, Facebook, X and TikTok, as we bring you a bit of an exclusive insight now into Andoni Iraola's preparations for this new Premier League campaign. It's not far away now, 3 weeks to go until the big kick-off. So we've rolled out the royalty for you in the form of Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler, who are going to watch this one with us. It's a state-of-the-art, purpose-built training ground here. They play Charlotte actually on Saturday, the night before Liverpool take on Leeds. And it's funny you see in these places, Robert Lewandowski just walked past us before. Even Robbie was starstruck.
Oh, behave yourself. He was.
It's great though, isn't it? I mean, how suited is a facility like this to modern day football now?
I love it. I've had many conversations with you off air, and about the importance of a good training facility. I think for me this is important, the most important thing for a football club. This is a place where you play all your football. I think it's more important than the actual stadium. It's the place where you probably spend most of your time, so it's got to be comfortable for the players. It's got to be that environment where people want to come in and enjoy being a part of it. The gym's got to be good, the cafe and the restaurant's got to be good, and more importantly the training pitches and the gym and everything's got to be mega. And this is what I love about the MLS actually, because a lot of the clubs over here have spent big on the training facilities, and these are no different. It's
maybe the part that people don't see that, Ian, isn't it? In the sense of, you think of the players when they were travelling from New York to Chicago from 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock the next morning, they're together. So atmosphere, things like training grounds are so important to the lads.
Yeah, I think pre-season, that's what it's all about, bonding all together and everything. And it does help when you have great facilities like they are here. So it makes you want to go out there and play. And but looking round there now, it's absolutely unbelievable, the facilities.
I think it makes you want to come in as well, doesn't it? So like, if you go to, you think of a few of the lower league clubs in the UK where they've got a training base, or they'll get changed at the stadium and then they'll be driving cars to various places to train. But if you've got a place where you can come and enjoy, it's actually, I mean, you talk about the family element of a football club or your football team to come in. And it's important that you want to be here, and if you want to be here, it's got to be a good facility.
You can talk about talking to the Wrexham people, and their training facility is not great. He said they're driving from the ground to the training thing. They've got to come back and all that. I think they've just spent 5 or 6 million on new training facilities, so they know that's needed.
Yeah. In terms of the physical condition, obviously players come back an awful lot different to the way they did even 5-6 years ago. They're in tip-top condition now. With the couple of games that we've played 3 weeks in, Rob, will they feel nearly ready?
Yeah, I mean, you've just hit the nail on the head. I think nowadays football is all about, keeping sharp throughout that summer and keeping your fitness up. And years ago, pre-season was all about getting fit for the season, where the players now, don't get probably as much time as what we had off. And it really is just a case of ticking over. So, the players can obviously train as much as they want, but then it's really the sharpness where you've got to sort of hone in. Fitness-wise, absolutely no problem. But we know that if you're not been playing for a while, that's the important thing of trying to get up to speed for games. It's getting the alertness, it's getting the sharpness, the little 5 and 10 yard bursts of speed. Whereas they probably haven't been doing that in the summer. They've probably been doing obviously a few longer runs to get the heart and lungs working that little bit more. But when you're on a training base like this, and it's massively important that you get the short, sharp stuff in.
When did you feel ready, Ian? When did you feel ready for the real thing?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think it's obviously different now and all that, but for me, it takes you between 3 and 5 games to get... you need to be ready for the start of the season. Even when we played in the Community Shield, that wasn't... You have to win that game. It was like, this is your final game to get ready for the start of the season. Obviously, it's completely different now because there's pressure on in pre-season games, there's pressure on winning games. So I think that's the difference. Now, when we're playing, you say 3 to 5 games, then you should be ready to start the season.
What about the signs? What you've seen so far? Are the signs good? The press, the way they move the ball, is it more like you want to see from this Liverpool team?
I think so. I think there's been spells in the game which haven't been probably what we. There's a tractor going past. There's been spells where we haven't seen what we want to, but then there's been lots of positives where we've seen the players putting that little bit of press on, the pressure, and really running about and putting the hard yards in. So your players getting wide, and I think that what I've noticed, that there's lots of balls going into the box as well in the few games I've seen, which is obviously mega important certainly for us as a football club, because you got Alexander Isak there, who's our number 9, who's going to thrive on balls into the box. I know we haven't seen him yet, but hopefully he'll be involved in the game against Leeds on Sunday, because we want to see the bigger players now, because it is coming to the point where Rushy's saying you're coming towards the start of the season now, you're not that far away, so you want to see the players sort of liven up and sharpen up, and I think that the next game's massive for them.
He was a lot more pleased with the performance against Wrexham. He felt as a unit they were tough to break down. They looked a bit more creative in the spaces that he wanted them to be as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's Wrexham's 4th game. So, with like 2 games behind Wrexham, so you can see they may have been a little bit sharp and everything, but to keep on going, to win the game was also good for confidence and everything. But, I'm saying, slowly but surely, and you've got the more experienced ones coming back now, but they'll need minutes as well. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure they'll start the game on Sunday. Yeah.
Just to follow from obviously what Rushy's saying about the games, and I know we spoke about it briefly the other night about the Sunderland game. I'm a big believer in getting the right results. I know you were saying a bit before about the Community Shield, and it wasn't really that important of winning it, but I think it breeds the confidence. We talk about getting the players fit, and it's great that they go into the season, but there's no better feeling, and there's no better feeling going into the start of the season if you score 4 or 5, 6 goals in pre-season and they're getting results, because it becomes a habit, and you get used to winning, and you get used to like getting your shots away, and I think results are important. I know it's not for everyone. I firmly believe you should be winning these games.
He will get to a point now where he thinks, I've got 6 or 7 senior players to add to the squad. That there will be recruitment at some stage as well. He will feel an awful lot happier as this pre-season progresses, that it will look a bit more like the team that will start the season.
Yeah, I think he's been unfortunate sort of coming into Liverpool at this particular time, not because of the players, because of the World Cup as well, because obviously we've got Virgil back home, we've got Gakpo, Florian Wirtz, who else? We've got Isak and obviously 1 or 2 others who we haven't seen yet, so they're coming to the training base a little bit later, albeit look, they've probably needed and deserved the time off because of what they've done in the summer. But it's hard for a manager then to come in and everyone's sort of coming back at different rates in terms of fitness level, so it's up to obviously Andoni and his staff to sort of try and work out the best plan to get these players in the maximum fitness at the right time.
And this will be a fact-finding mission for him as well, in that he might have had an idea of what they needed. He might have seen this and said maybe something else that we need here that we can maybe try and address in the market. But as we've seen with loads of other clubs, there's not an awful lot happening, is there? It looks like a difficult market for every club to go into at the moment.
Very difficult, yeah, and that's why training is more important than anything now. Yeah. Just do the training, and he'll decide. And like I say, with the younger lads, they have a chance even in training to impress the manager and the coaches. So they've got to do that, because the season will soon be upon us, and if you're not ready there, I think the first 4 or 5 games is going to be vital to the season. If you win 2 or 3 of them, it gives the confidence to go on to maintain that top 4 or 5 spot.
It's a habit again. I know what you're saying. You always say when teams go on a little bit of a losing streak, that becomes a habit, and it's hard to get out of it. But if you spin that the other way, and if you start winning games, that becomes a habit, and you sort of go into the season, you go into games, and you're that little bit more confident, feeling as though that you're going to win, as opposed to going in and thinking, oh, I'm going to lose.
And at the end of the day, you make your own luck. They say I have good luck and bad luck, but at the end of the day, you make your own luck.
Yeah. This is also a really interesting part of the season, I suppose, for managers in the Championship and League One. They'll be watching these games thinking, I wouldn't mind taking him for half a season. This is a big period for the 21s, the 18s players, and that they're playing for the next 12 months, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, Rushy just nailed it before in terms of they're coming in and want to do well for the manager. If they do well here, then they'll stay here, because we know the PSR rules. We know that there's got to be so many homegrown players into the squad, so they'll want to impress. But it also becomes a case where you've got to go out there and you've got to play. There's no good for a lot of them to maybe come in and sort of just be numbers in training grounds, because we eventually want to see these players playing and doing really well for Liverpool. And if it means sending them out on loan to Championship teams, even League One, where we see them playing, and that could be the catalyst for how far they can go, if that makes sense.
I think if they just come in and think they want to be one of the numbers, it's not for Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, listen, you don't get better. You only get so many chances in football, and you've got to take them.
And that's fostered in the academy as well, isn't it? You know, the coaches, when they go back, how did you do? It's not good enough to say I did okay. You've got to go in there and make an impression, haven't you?
Well, you've got to be outstanding, haven't you? And that's football in a nutshell. You know, you can you talk about your fitness levels, you know, how good you are, but unless you go out there and you play in a game and sort of standing out, then you've got to go and show that to people that you're standing out at that level to be, and the managers, you know, you even talk about fans will want to see you if you go and perform that well as well. So if you go there and you put an element of doubt in the supporters' minds if you struggle at a championship club or a League One club, because it's not good for them.
Yeah.
You know, they're certainly not ready for us, but I think it's vital for some players, not all of them, but I think it's vital for some players to sort of go out there and prove to people that they can perform.
Vital for you, I imagine, at home, because this is a real insight for all of us, and there's 4 games still to go. So if you're not a subscriber already to LFC TV or All Red Video, this is probably the right time, because there's an offer running right now to keep you here. Leeds United, which takes place at Soldier Field on the 2nd of August. That takes us a little bit closer. Straight after that game, the players will fly back to the UK, and then, of course, there's the Monaco game, which takes place at Anfield, and then there's a behind closed doors. So the only way to see it is right here. With us, the behind closed doors, and then the one at Anfield. 4 games to go. All the details you need are video.liverpoolfc.com. Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler are going to be with us for the remainder of this training session, and we will talk as we go, but it's probably time for us to just let the pitches do the talking for a little while, and you can watch this exclusive training session here in Chicago. And you're watching a live training session here at the home of Chicago Fire. Liverpool's next game, the final game of this US tour for 2026, will take place at Soldier Field. Chicago Fire were actually training here before Liverpool today. They play Charlotte on Saturday night, the night before Liverpool's final game. So if you're joining us late, the main news, of course, is that there are some returning first-team players which will have come as such good news to Andoni, Iraola, Florian Wirtz out there, Ryan Gravenberch as well, and Alexander Isak, which is the best news for Liverpool fans at the moment, Rob, because the seniority will give this place a big lift, and we're hoping they're going to get some minutes on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we'd be amazed if there isn't. I think that's what we want to see as certainly Liverpool fans. You want your strong team out, because we are coming towards that, really big point in the pre-season where, I mean, you can see this in the training now where it's like nice, short and sharp, and myself and Rushy were talking off air before about the importance of this. It gets the players that alert, a little bit of sharpness, and in particular the lads who have been missing are straight into the sharpness. So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, they're not being staggered in terms of their return. It goes back to the point you were making before, Ian, around the fact that these players just come back ready now. Yeah,
I was just watching the one before that, so they're just getting ready for this. For me, this is a sign of the high pressing game. They've got to get so many touches before they can release the ball. And when they release the ball, it's closing down straight away. Look at the Blacks there, closing down straight away, and you need to take that into a game.
But it's also the way as well. So we all understand how Liverpool want to play, and I mean it's massively important that you're pressing. And we see the team whenever they lose the ball, they've got to get into that next square and try and win the ball back. But it's also important for the team who's got the ball, keeping hold of that, because that's what we want to see with the Liverpool team as well. So as much as we talk about the pressing and how you should be putting pressure on the opposition, it's important that we need to know how to keep the ball as well.
I think that's why you've got to be so many touches. You can't just go straight away. You've got maybe 5 or 10 touches. That's keeping the ball before you can release it.
In the company of Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler, if you don't recognise the voices there as well, there's no better Liverpool player to talk to about pressing from the front than Ian Rush. How will that instruction change for Alexander Isak now? Maybe based on what we saw last season. I know it was kind of stop-start, but how will his game have to change now under Andoni Iraola?
Well, he'll most probably have to work that little bit harder. He's a bit unlucky with his injuries and everything, but I think coming back in this training now will say, listen, you've got to close down at the right time. You don't just close down there. It's knowing when to close down and when not to close down. Because when I was playing, I'd be the first line of defence where if I thought I could win the ball, if it's going to left back on his right foot, I would close down. And then, Dalglish, Souness, Anton all close down together. But if they weren't ready, if I went and they'd shout me, don't go, because if I did close, they wouldn't be ready behind me. So it's just working as a team.
I think spot on there, Rushy, because when you think of Liverpool when they've been pressed and maybe one player's gone and then if he goes on his own, then you sort of get picked off as a team. So I mean, Rushy's spot on that how he used to do it. So he was like the trigger point. So you knew that whenever he went, you knew the lads behind him sort of had to be ready to sort of go and do their part as well. So if you're doing it on your own, you're
wasting energy. Aren't
yeah. Well, also you're going to be lost in the game because the teams will just pick the passes around you, and then all of a sudden we're a man down.
What do you expect on Sunday? Will he be in a good position to start the game, or do you think he might bring him on second half? Or
yeah, I'd be amazed if they don't start. In all fairness, I think they should start.
And is that the way you would want it if you were
absolutely?
In his
yeah, because I think that there's also the part where if you come into the game, you're sort of trying to build up. Sorry, if you come on as a sub, you're trying to build up, and then you probably lose a minute. But if you start the game, you can build up, play that a little bit longer, and then come off if necessary. If you're come on maybe 60 minutes, then you're not probably going to see them get that peak sharpness for about 75 minutes. So. I think they need to start.
I think you need to start him. I think he's not going to play 90 minutes, but I think it's also in the players' if I'm starting, we're coming on. You're thinking coming on as a substitute, whatever. But when you start a game, it does make a big difference.
And it's the physical contact, I imagine, as well, from a real game, in that you're limited in terms of the amount of matches you have left now, but it's different to a training session.
Absolutely. Again, we were talking off air, and I've obviously a few injuries, both of us, but when you sort of train and you come back and you feel unbelievable because you've been training, you're feeling fit and you're feeling sharp, but nothing prepares you for games. So it's a totally different fitness, it's a totally different element to sort of about your game. You can feel fit, you can feel strong, but nothing prepares you for matches, and that's why I think players need to play a little bit more games, play more minutes, to get them used to the sharpness, get them used to the physicality, and getting them used to the way certainly the manager Andoni wants them to play.
And when you play now, it's not a full pitch, is it? When your game, it's a full pitch. This is like half a pitch and all that. So it's a mentality as well. When you're doing all that's great, but when you get into the full size pitch, things change.
I'll tell you what else changes as well. It used to be cones, didn't it? Now it's white tape that marks out pitches. Is that a new thing? Or?
I think that's a foreign thing, that. And it obviously is the pitch, so obviously I'm sure there'll be an element of a game here later on. But it's more years ago it was the cones, whereas, and the cones could be quite staggered, so, players could cheat a little bit, but nowadays there's no hiding place, so the ball's gone out, and it might be a case of, look, the ball goes out and he stopped running, well, they can't hide now, can they? The ball's got to be really out.
That's modern day football, isn't it? No excuses for anything, even the size of a pitch, the kidology involved in modern day football. Another great sign is Florian Wirtz out there. He spoke about him in his press conference the other night. He very much sees him as a number 10. He knows he can play from the left. He likes his wide players to be able to play either side. But is that music to your ears, that he's somebody he feels is going to be playing right behind the striker?
Well, for me, yes, because I've watched him play for Germany, and he plays really well for Germany when he's coming in from the left as well. So they're positive signs. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think just to follow from that as well, we all know how good of a player he is. I mean, technically, tactically, he's very, very good. Okay, we probably didn't see the Leverkusen version of Florian Wirtz last season, but he comes in now, so he's obviously had a good World Cup in terms of playing a few games for Germany. He comes in now and he obviously is looking sharp. But, I mean, just to go back to what you're saying in terms of him playing the number 10, I think last year we were sort of bit worried about where he would play, whether he was going to play on the left, and cut inside. But I think if you're clear from a player point of view where you're going to be, I think that can sort of help him concentrate on the job he's got to do. And I think he probably needs to do that. Whereas last year, I think he was a little bit in no man's land in terms of positions, because he played in a few number of positions for the manager. But I quite like the fact that Andoni's come out now and said, well, look, this is where we are, and it shows you the importance of him as well, and it's putting a bit, not pressure on, but it's putting the onus on him now to say, well, look, we're giving you what you want to do.
If he does that, there's no excuse then, is there, if he doesn't deliver? He won't that, and well, I think help Isaac as well, because he'll know what he's got to do as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Physically knows what to expect from the Premier League now as well, doesn't he, that second season?
Yeah, and look, anyone coming to the Premier League will tell you the same thing. Regardless of whether people think it's the best league in the world, I think it's like it's probably the most physical and probably the most demanding league. And I know Isak played at Newcastle, but Florian Wirtz struggled a little bit at times. You think of Frimpong struggled a little bit, and they were so dominant in Germany. So the fact is that you've got a team now, or you've got some players who participated in a lot of the Premier League games last year, so they know the importance of what they need to do, i.e. the physicality and the temperament of the Premier League football.
We're in Chicago. It feels very much like a European city, this. If you've not been here before, the hustle and bustle of New York versus the country music and sample of chaos that Nashville had for us as well. There have been three very different, brilliant cities to visit. You've seen a little bit of it, lads? You've been on any river cruises or?
Not yet, no. I mean, we went to a genuinely lovely restaurant last night where, I mean, you can imagine the, American-style sizes of portions of the food, which is what we witnessed last night.
Any back for me in tin foil or not?
And you have the hospitality of the Irish as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is. We've obviously been here before with the club, and we've obviously played at Soldier Field. I don't think we've been at this training base, but I mean, it's a lovely city. There's a lot to offer. But I mean, you've mentioned, I mean, everyone enjoyed Nashville. That was like the real stepping stone of getting you prepared for a pre-season. And obviously, New York has got everything, and it's got the chaotic, nightmare at times, traffic. But I mean, every city's been brilliant, and you've got to remember we're Liverpool, and wherever we go, we bring out the people, don't we? So, expect the same again.
We're at the home of Chicago Fire. We're going to let the pitches breathe for you a little bit now as Liverpool's training session, the final chance to have a look at them before this big game. of course, on Sunday. How ready will Liverpool be for the new Premier League season? You can see them all here on LFC TV through All Red Video and through the app connected to your TVs as well. If you're not a subscriber, it's a good time. There's a free offer running on there. Find out how you can join via the address that you can see there. The game's not just with Leeds United on Sunday, but also against Monaco at Anfield. There's one game you can go physically to watch after the Monaco game against Como, but one behind closed doors, so you can only see that one here on LFC TV and All Red Video. Have a look and see if you fancy it. It would be great to have you as part of our team. We'll let the pitches breathe for you a little bit now then, and we'll come back with Robbie Fowler and Ian Rush very soon. And it's Peter McDowell here with Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler. We're watching some behind closed doors training that Liverpool have been taking part in here. And of course, on that subject, there are 4 more games to go. Leeds, Monaco, 2 games against Como. That if you aren't currently a subscriber to LFC TV or All Red Video, you can find out how you can get to that live offer, which is on there now. 2-week trial. LFC TV and All Red Video for you to watch those games. Leeds, Monaco, Como. One of those games is at Anfield, another is behind closed doors, so a chance for you to see Liverpool shaping up for this brand new season. And that's exactly what Robbie Fowler and Ian Rush have been doing here so far. What have you spotted, Rob? What are these sessions all about that we are witnessing at present?
Yeah, look, I think it's about getting the sharpness, it's getting the ball moving, but it's also about the pressing. I think that's obviously what Andoni wants to get into applying to his team. We see obviously a few shots getting put away as well, and it just shows you the importance of if one player's not sort of putting the shift in, how easy that he can get broken into. It's massive. So one player's sort of out, and the other team breaks pretty quickly. So that's the importance of everyone sticking together. And what Rushy was telling me before about the press, if one triggers, then you need other players behind them to sort of join in there as well.
Yeah, I think it's when a lot of it is when you haven't got the ball. That's important, but they're all working as a team. And as Robbie just said there, if one of them's not working, it's quite open because the opposition will just wear you down, and that'll be in the Premiership. When the game starts, that'll happen.
Yeah. That's the importance of everyone sort of working for the side, isn't it? We always hear about obviously teams and the way they play, and they have a style and an ethos and what they need to do, but it's like imperative that the team works together. If one player doesn't work, then you are meat and drink.
And it was what made his Bournemouth side so successful, so easy to watch, wasn't it, last season? You're spotting hallmarks in some of these sessions and some of the games that we're hoping we're going to see for real next season. Yeah,
well, they are moving the ball pretty quick, and you probably want to see this now because we are coming to like a real pivotal point within this pre-season where the fitness is probably there, as we said before, but it's the sharpness and the alertness in the tight games, getting the players to sort of be aware of the surroundings. And I think that was fairly evident in how his teams played last year, wasn't it? They were neat and tidy on the ball, but he had this incredible work ethic, and you can see that he's definitely trying to imply this with the lads here.
Some drops of rain as well on the training ground, which will come as welcome news to the players who will feel a bit more at home. Again, people who've been coming out to watch the session, Chicago Fire players and Chicago Fire coaches. One who's been here for 9 months is a Belfast lad, and he was saying the weather can be quite harsh here. All of a sudden it's red hot, and then the next day winter arrives. But it is cool. It's probably about 24, 25 degrees at present, and like I say, just a few drops of rain on the session. That's probably got about another 25 minutes to go still here. What was a really nice sight a few moments ago, probably out of shot, was Conor Bradley out here. Yeah. He's travelled. That must be difficult when you're travelling as part of a squad and you're not able to contribute, but getting him out on the grass, getting him running again will give everybody a boost.
Well, I mean, more so him. I think when you obviously are injured and you're trying to get back that fitness, I think when you start running, you're a little bit closer. Now, I mean, I don't really know how long Conor's going to be, but as soon as you're running, it's closer to be where you want to be. I mean, he's still got a little bit of a limp at his running, so I think he is obviously miles away yet, but it's good to see him putting in the fitness runs, isn't it?
I think it's bonding as well with your teammates as well. I think just seeing him there, he gets like he feels he's involved and all that. So, yeah, maybe I don't know when he's going to be back, but I think watching them train, I bet he can't wait to get back out on that pitch.
Coming of age is a big part of this pre-season as well. We asked Robbie Fowler at the very start of these games, who are you looking forward to see? Who is that player that might need to move on quicker than most people expect? And what we have seen from Iraola, for example, in these early games, Rob, is almost an Andoni Iraola player, somebody that is on the turn, is breaking quickly, is playing those vertical passes. He looks physically to have grown as well, and he will be one of those players that will be looking to push on and maybe get himself in a starting 11.
And he'll think there's a chance. So you mean for the last couple of years, everyone's been saying Liverpool have needed this type of player, and the games he has played, he's sort of been in that position where people are saying we need that type of player. So he's not letting let anyone down. He's doing the job that's needed. He wants to get on the ball. He's played it and passed it at the right times, but he's got a good work ethic as well, which is obviously the ethos of the manager as well. So if you're starting to do that, you're easily in the manager's thoughts, and so we did speak before about certain players might need to go on loan or go away. But it'll be interesting to see what they obviously do with Trey as well, because he'll be classed as obviously that homegrown player, which is obviously massively important for Liverpool.
He's been part of this first team now for a couple of years. Ian, fourth most touches in the game the other night. He nearly played half the game. He was nearly always on the ball when Liverpool had it.
And that comes with confidence as well. You learn it in training and taking it into a game where, look what they're put now, there's like 7 aside and it's only maybe half a pitch. So it's when it's 11 aside and it's on a full pitch, there's still tight spaces and all, and he feels comfortable on the ball.
Josh Sonny Lambie there, who is a young striker that got his first minutes out here in the US. Again, these are all really nice stories, aren't they? Players who made such a big impression for the under-18s and under-21s now feeling the pressure of a training session. And as you know better than anybody, you two, once you give the ball away in training as a Liverpool player in a first team, it can be a little bit different to when you do it in the youth teams.
I think this as well, this training session that we're seeing now, and there is no hiding spaces for anyone. You can see players maybe cheating in not the Liverpool obviously team, but you see players cheating in the past. But when you're in this small side of games with the amount of players, and there's no hiding place, everyone's got to work together. We see all the young lads coming in, and look, none of them are letting anyone down at the minute. But the importance is obviously, playing the way the manager wants to, because they've got a chance of maybe progress into that squad. And if you're in the manager's thoughts, certainly this early in the season, okay, we know this player's going to come back, and there's a potential for some players to come in. But they'll want to impress, and as much as you do well here, we've said in the past as well, you need that bit of luck as well.
Giovanni Leone is just beneath us as well. We're seeing in front of us here just how big he's grown as well since his debut at Liverpool. The physicality that everybody needs to get used to in the Premier League. But there's a bright future about that back four. There's a bright future about the likes of Xhaka and Leone that we hopefully are looking forward to seeing in the not too distant future.
I think obviously with the Xhaka one, obviously he's been a little bit unfortunate with obviously doing his shoulder, and I'm not sure what little niggle or knock he's got at the minute. Leone, he was great in his first game, wasn't he? And then obviously all of a sudden he gets that really horrible injury. But you've got them coming into a squad that have got the unbelievable class of Virgil van Dijk next to him. So I think they can certainly learn from the type of player Virgil is, and the experience of him will be, I think, imperative to help these younger players sort of come through the roles and routes that they need.
Yeah, I think it's a physical side as well, I think, and his physique and all that. When you're injured, you've got to get yourself ready, because it's the Premiership's going to be the most difficult league in the world. So it's not just mentally, but physically and all. You have to be ready for it.
The rain is getting a little bit heavier now. We will again return to the training session that's just taken a little break, a water break at the moment. There we say that word, hydration break. In this part of the world. But yeah, Liverpool players preparing for that game against Leeds United, which happens on Sunday, and a sociable kick-off time if you're watching us in the UK as well. You don't have to stay up through the night. But Leeds, Monaco, 2 games against Como available, as well as that Leeds one to watch here on LFC TV and all Red Video via your connected apps. There is an offer running at the moment, a 2-week trial, so check that one out on the address that will find its way onto your screen throughout the course of the next 20 minutes or so. We're in the company of Robbie Fowler and Ian Rush as we watch this session, and we will return to talk to you very soon. We hope you enjoyed the insight here in Chicago. Liverpool's final training session before we see that game live, of course, right here on LFC TV and all Red Video. We'll give you details as to how you can subscribe if you don't already. But we've been in the company of Robbie Fowler and Ian Rush, who found it equally as interesting. And another session in the legs, the players will feel that little bit closer now to the real thing.
Yeah, I think now you're getting ready for the match day, innit? That's what they're looking at. They work really hard. All of them work really hard. And the problem now is recovery. It's important that they get their recovery in there. If they do that, one more training session before the game.
Those training sessions as well, as a manager gets used to almost a 3-game week. Yeah. Robbie as well, him and his staff, they'll be looking to try and find some kind of rhythm for the players that they can get used to when they're back in Liverpool too.
I think it's a great point. I think certainly a club the size of Liverpool, you want to be playing minimum two games a week, because that means you're doing well in cup competitions, in obviously Champions League, obviously Premier League. So yeah, it's vital that you're getting this, and obviously Rush, you're talking about there about getting the players ready for the games tomorrow, and I think preparation is key. So obviously they're preparing for obviously the games, they're also preparing for the start of the season. But I mean, I'll be amazed if that hasn't been a conversation with them. That this is what potentially could happen in the season. So it's about minimising the problems. It's about maximising the fitness. And preparation is key. Hence the reason why I've got this lovely, rain jacket on.
That's the only one I brought. Preparation for the weather.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit more like Kirby than it is Chicago at the moment. But great game to watch on Sunday. It's obviously a team that these two will have decent amount of emotion around, having both played for Leeds as well. What was your time like there? How do you look back on it?
Well, I enjoyed it. I think Howard Wilkinson, he took me there and he put me captain there, and 3 months later he got the sack. No, but I think I'd have to say the supporters were fantastic. And I'm excited as well, because I think there's at least 4 Welshmen playing for Leeds as well. So I'll be keeping my eye out for them as well.
Yeah. For you, Rob, what was your time like there?
I loved it, honestly. I think it's been well documented. I didn't want to leave Liverpool. I've had a choice to go to a few, and I think if I think of my career and where I've been, what I've done, I'd have Leeds as my probably second choice club after Liverpool. I mean, it's fairly obvious where my loyalties lie, of course. But I think that the time I had there, Rushy's just mentioned the fans. I thought the fans were brilliant. They were brilliant with me. I'm sure they were brilliant with him. And they're passionate, they get right behind the team, so I enjoyed my time there.
Proper fans love a goal scorer. It's no coincidence that they love these two. That is it from us here in Chicago. Just over 48 hours now until that game, Liverpool against Leeds at the famous Soldier Field up the roads from the banks of Lake Michigan. It's a 9 p.m. kickoff UK time on Sunday, so a bit more sociable for you ahead of a return to work. Live build-up begins at 8 online on the club app and via connected tellies with all Red Video you can watch there. Currently, as we've mentioned, running a 2-week free trial on there as well, so check out the details as to how you can get involved and watch those games. Ian and Robbie will be back alongside us for that, and we hope to see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.